Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Joining the conversation today, comedian Arthur Simeon is back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It is good to be back.
Oh my God! Well, with this
wonderful
kind
to
of
be here.
reception, look at this audience.
This is
all for
incredible
you.
energy. Yeah.
It's true. It's
You
true.
all came out for me. Thank you.
Yes, it's all for you. Art.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody, you may know this. The internet is buzzing after Taylor Swift's appearance on Travis and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast. Here's a little... Oh, okay.
Excited.
All right. Here's a little snippet. Take a listen.
Everybody watching the show is currently asking, why are you coming on the show? Why New Heights? What are you doing? You have so many better things to do with your time.
This podcast has done a lot for me. I owe a lot to this podcast. This podcast got me a boyfriend ever since Travis decided to use it as his personal dating app about 2 years ago. So
Worked pretty good.
yeah.
Cute.
Just a little snippet. It was a 2-hour-plus interview. She revealed a whole lot of Easter eggs about her upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, which she revealed on the show. It also gave us a really rare glimpse into her relationship with NFL star Travis Kelce there. So we're going to pull some parts out of this. Andrea, what was the part of the podcast that surprised you the most?
Okay, first of all, as a person in the very, very early stages of this relationship, I'm not saying I was the first, but was one of the first who said that this was it. And so watching the chemistry between these two, I feel some kind of like power. I'm like, yes, I made this happen.
You did it.
I am the matchmaker. But aside from that, there was a great moment during this interview that made me feel like, you know what? Famous people, they're just like us. Because you know when you're dating someone and you don't quite understand what they do, but you're trying to act really interested, so you're asking all kinds of questions, but then your questions are so not smart, but they're too polite to say something. She had a moment like that. Take a look at this.
And he didn't even look at me. Like, I now know what an insane question that was.
All right, so the question was, she was like, so what's it like standing across from your brother, because his brother used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, and, you know, facing off with each other, but that's not the way football works. I didn't know that either, Taylor, so don't feel bad. But just the fact that they kind of have those real moments and that she was trying to show him that she cares. I think most people in Taylor's life are always trying to impress her, so it was very cute to see her trying to impress him with her football knowledge, but she didn't know anything. And also goes to show that he didn't really care. He likes her. He is not looking for a new coach for his team. He's looking for a girlfriend. So I thought it was a really cute
You know what's
moment.
really interesting though is when they were starting to date and she started to go to the games. You know, the Swifties are all I'm living with one, so I know you are really smart.
Yeah.
But there were some Swifties who were like, you know why this is a match? Because she grew up watching football with her dad and she knows so much. And then you guys all remember the story where they thought it was a leaked letter that Taylor wrote, and she was writing like basically plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then it turns out everybody was wrong. She doesn't know a thing about
Didn't know
football.
anything.
Everybody was wrong.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting
I thought it was very
revelation.
cute.
I thought that was the longest time a lot of Swifties have spent listening to a football player.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2
Probably.
hours is the longest time they ever spent with a football. But I love it. I love that she's creating from a joyful place and she's showing it. I'm not afraid, because we've romanticized creating from pain. And I love that someone with that platform and stature is being like, no, you can also create from a happy place, regardless of like what's going on.
That's very
So I think that's really
insightful.
cool. Yeah.
That's really lovely. And
she's
that
showing that she's fearless and that there's no bad blood between her and, you know, her exes and stuff. That's me referencing.
Nice.
By the way.
That was very, slip
I'm
that in
really
there.
cool.
Nice.
I'm really cool.
she's also showing that she's listening to the critics, because a big criticism of the Tortured Poets department
Yeah.
was that it could have maybe used some editing, because there are 31 songs on it. And so she said this new album is just like, it's coming from a place of like pure joy.
Yes.
And only 12 songs.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's like an album,
that's
right?
all we need.
That's all
Exactly.
we need.
Yeah. Especially because she has to go back and bake like bread and stuff, but she has no time to create 31 songs.
No, who
yeah.
does that?
Yeah.
What I loved everything about this, first of all, for the record. Here's what I really loved about this. We've talked a lot on the show about toxic masculinity. The world is full, especially in the world leader department. There's a lot of examples of toxic males doing toxic male things. What I loved about this podcast was you see, brotherly love. Those two, if you listen to the podcast, they just ride or die for each other. It's a beautiful thing to see, the way they're so emotional and open with each other emotionally. But I think that everyone's saying, well, okay, we know what toxic masculinity is, but what does healthy masculinity look like, sound like? And there's going to be many examples. I just don't know how many we can point to. But listening and watching to that last night, I said, these are two beautiful examples of healthy males.
Yeah.
And I thought, how simple that is. So for me, what I loved was, and what is healthy masculinity to me? These guys were emotional. They were vulnerable. It was not these guys chest beating, going, I'm better than you. You had Travis saying, I am in awe of you, Taylor. The way that you create, the way that you bring joy. I learn so much from you every day. You bring out the best in me. More of that. Do you know how many millions of people have watched that? That is a beautiful,
But you know how many millions of people of nice boys who are listening to this and just being like, hi, over here. We've been like that for so long. And I just think sort of the bad boy energy is so much more salacious and gets so much more attention. I think Travis is probably, like, he seems like a really good guy. But, like, the standard he's bringing is just the standard, not the gold standard.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Basic. Yeah. And I'm wondering how his ex-girlfriends are feeling if they're watching going, who is this guy? I've never seen this man before. He never spoke to me this way. That's just me being messy. All right, so let's move on to our next one. Sticking with T Swift, Zoe Kravitz recently appeared on Late Night with Seth Meyers and revealed that while she was staying at the singer's house during the Los Angeles fires, her mom's snake got loose and they had to tear apart Taylor's beautiful bathroom to catch it. So Zoe admitted that she tried to cover up the disaster from Taylor, but the pop star had already found out. So, question is, have you ever been caught trying to cover something up at a person's house as a house guest? I see some guilty faces in this audience.
I haven't. Luckily enough, I'm a great house guest for those of you who want to invite me into your home. I clean up after myself. I will say this. I would never let anyone with a pet snake move into my house under any circumstances, okay?
That's bad.
However, Zoe Kravitz's mother is Lisa Bonet.
Yes.
If it's Lisa Bonet, she can move in with a tiger, a snake, a unicorn, a dragon. Lisa Bonet could move an entire zoo into my basement apartment. Yeah, I could, woo.
Agreed.
Sorry, I changed subjects here.
Yeah, like you got lost there. You got lost there.
Yeah.
Listen, I've never done that, but what I love about what Zoe did was that she was honest. She just came forward and she's like, listen, this is what happened at your house, because I think most times when things are about to go bad, your first inclination is to lie and hide it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never done anything in anybody's house other than watching something almost not go down a toilet, but it always works out.
Oh, no.
There was one time I was with my cousin's daughter, who was about 5 or 6 at the time. We're in a very expensive store. I turned away from her for a second, and she knocked over this very expensive vase, and it was so loud. And I panicked, grabbed her, and said, let's go. And ran out of the store, and I go, we tell no one about this.
Yeah.
And I asked a 5-year-old.
Yeah, fair.
And I still feel so
I
bad.
think you did the
but
right
at the
thing.
same time, I was not paying for that vase.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was too expensive.
You know what, quickly, I have a memory. My mom loves bones, like the kind you eat on and gnaw on. And I was invited over to a friend's house who lived a couple houses down, and they served pork chops. So I ate the pork around the chop, and then, stealthily in my eyes, was taking the bones and putting them in a paper napkin. And then I put the bones in my pocket and brought the bones back to my mother.
gosh.
And you know what? You're not gonna be laughing because I never got caught. Huh? How's that?
Until today.
You know what? Maybe they saw it, but they were too embarrassed
just
to
like,
say anything.
Yeah.
What is this child
Yeah,
doing?
I wouldn't say anything. I would notice that and be like, this is the last time Jess is coming to the house.
That was the last time I got invited.
Yeah, 100%.
Jess, I'm looking at you a whole different way.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I really am.
So Pete Davidson opened up on the Breakfast Club podcast about being over-sexualized by the media around the time that he was dating Ariana Grande. So he went on to say that the fixation of a very particular part of his body started because people felt that Ariana was out of his league. So was it wrong, what do we think, to focus on Pete's physical attributes like this? Some of the women,
Very quiet.
Yeah. What do you think?
Wrong.
Well, do you know what?
Yeah.
I'd like to go to you first.
As
Because you have that certain body
yeah,
part.
as a member of the tall comedians with giant penises. Sorry, the Association of Tall Comedians with Giant Penises, who sometimes appear on national television.
My God.
I'm glad someone finally brought this up because
It needs to be addressed.
it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because you don't think we're human, okay? And we're still human, okay? All you focus on is this giant part of us, and the rest of us just goes unclaimed, okay? We are funny. We're someone's son, someone's brother, someone's dad. This is. I'm fortunate. I'm so glad Pete Davidson finally spoke up.
Yeah.
Broke
We're
the
a
silence.
marginalized group, and we walk around, and people are yelling at us. Show it to me, like that. That ends today. Today, I am speaking up and I am fighting back.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Wow. Where do we go from here,
I know,
ladies?
what do you think?
I want to honor Pete's feelings, and he was embarrassed.
Yep.
And I want to honor your feelings as well.
Yep.
And so I respect that.
Yep.
But for me, when he became associated with that term, can I spell the acronym?
BDE?
Yeah.
Sure.
I had to think it out in my head, and then I got scared I was going to say it. Yeah. So when I found out he was associated with it, a light bulb went off in my head. Like, oh, I get it now, because it was this idea of a quiet, sort of, not gentleman, but confident, quiet, very proud of who you are without being super masculine and nothing to sort of prove. And then I went through my whole roster of loves, shall we say, and I was like, oh my God, it all makes sense. And so now I play that game, like whenever I see a man, and I can immediately sort of tell. So for me, it was this light bulb moment, and Pete Davidson,
Just articulated it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, if what you're saying is correct, so because you believe that they have a big D and they have BDE, that's why you like them. Is that what you're saying?
No, not why I like it, but just the whole notion of
The
why these
personality,
guys, this personality of, they've got nothing to prove. They sit back like you got your
I think
John
it's
They're more
Hambone.
chill.
Yes.
Take your John Hambone or John Ham as, he is also gets referred to as the BD energy.
Yes.
Also, put my picture up there as well.
And your picture as well. But
Yeah.
I think he takes it with a little bit of good grace. It's hard to relate for us.
I just,
because
I'm glad you brought up John Hamm, though, because here's the thing. I get, and I'm very sensitive to what Pete is saying. He's gone through a lot in his life. We know he's gone through a lot. He's been fighting a lot of demons. I'm going to pull away from him for a second and simply say, in our culture, we still have a patriarchal culture. When a man is when you are glorified for that reason, I need you to explain to me, how does it hurt you? Because every man that has been through this, whether it's his career or his reputation, to me, it only seems like it's only up from here. I'll give you some other examples. Justin Bieber, when we saw long lens photos of his little Bieber,
I missed that one.
It wasn't little, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, Bieber, yeah. They do one of these.
Right.
John Hamm is another one. Jason Derulo had a picture taken down off of Instagram because his Derulo was causing problems, and he loved it. You have people who are like Orlando Bloom. He still talks about it to this day, that there was a photo of him paddleboarding naked, and
remember
everyone was
that
like,
one.
in full bloom.
Yeah.
And he loved it. So show me a case where in a man's situation, talking about his BDE, it has hurt him. Because I can give you a million examples of
here's the deal.
Hold on. I can give you a million examples of a woman's leaked nude photos, and it's only been weaponized.
Fair.
I think professionally it doesn't hurt the men the way it hurts the women, but I think maybe personally it may hurt them. Because as much as we love talking about it and we love a good giggle, and when you're at the strip club, it's all fun and ha-ha to put money in his G-string. When you're dealing with a person who doesn't have the personality for that, you got to remember in his personal life, because when everybody's talking about it, that means that anytime you're in an intimate relationship, there is an expectation that he knows, that is unspoken in that room, that not only should it be what everybody says it's supposed to be, but also that, the motion in the ocean should also match the size of the ship. So I imagine for him on a personal level, as a young man dating, he's probably like, this is a nightmare for me, because every girl I meet, I'm trying to have a connection, but I know that she's thinking about this and having expectations.
He also read it as all of us saying, you're not enough for Ariana. because of the way maybe he was taking as the way he looks, his brand of humor. And so he was like, everyone's just saying it's because I have that.
No, she's the one-
Similarly to how you feel.
Ariana was the one who said it. Ariana was the one who started the rumor.
started
it.
She was the one that started.
Wait a second, I
She's
don't
the one
feel
that
bad
started
for
the
him
rumor.
at all.
Yeah, she started the rumor, and he didn't appreciate it. Well, think about it. If he flipped it and he started a rumor about her and her sexual body, we would not be talking about it today in a positive way.
No, but she
So he
also
is
talks
right.
about herself like that.
But I know,
Right?
here's the deal. When you do it to yourself, it's different. When somebody that you're in an intimate relationship outs you without your permission, it's a very different
But we don't, do you feel like, I don't think we have a body part that is similar to that.
I'm sorry?
We don't have a
Yeah.
body.
Lefty and Poncho?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's the same thing. Like, we don't see someone with big breasts or a big vagina. Often it can mean other things. Let me try that again. We don't see a woman with big breasts and say, oh my gosh, she's such a confident, slick, cool woman. That's what the BDE is.
I don't think that's what people think when they say big breasts.
No.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're thinking bedtime. They're thinking, what's that thing you do? Blah. Motorboating.
I'm just going to sit this one out.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we see your feelings, we acknowledge your feelings, we respect your feelings, but I have a hard time finding that much sympathy for men in general. I think that for that, I still
And
think
this
that.
is exactly why the association was formed, okay? Because you don't understand the trouble that we go through.
Here.
A woman wrote to Reddit with a moral dilemma. After finishing a virtual job interview, she was accidentally CC'd on an internal email that included a link to a recording of the hiring team dissecting her performance. So the feedback that she heard included saying she lacked enthusiasm and energy, and that the team was looking for someone with a little more oomph. So much to her surprise, though, she still got a second interview, and she wants to know if she should come clean on this or she just should keep this to herself. So what would you do, Arthur?
Oh, 100% I would come clean and tell them everything, because now the power is in my hands.
Okay.
I am coming in with the video of you dissecting me, and then I'm dissecting your review, okay? I'm going to ask these people, what do you mean by oomph? Did you want me to dance during my interview? Would that have been enough energy? But I'm just going to put them where I'm like, listen, first of all, learn your computer skills clearly.
Yeah.
This office needs someone with better computer skills, because I shouldn't have gotten the video in the first place.
Correct. Yeah.
Secondly, everyone who was sort of dissecting her should also be dissected, because now it's like, this is how you guys run this company? I would 100%, and I say this as someone who's never been in an interview, by the way.
I was just about to say, I'm like, what are you talking about?
But also someone who likes chaos. So yeah, I would 100% bring that video in and dissect the dissectors.
No
basically. Yeah.
way, no way. This is the best gift. This is like getting the answers to the test before the big exam. Are you kidding me? Listen, first of all, job interviews are so nerve-wracking. Sometimes you go in and you think you nailed it and you never hear from them. Other times you think you fumbled it and then they're like, would you like the job? And you're like, what?
What?
It's so confusing. So to actually get this beautiful gift of actually hearing what they think about you, that means that you can fix all of those little things, because they weren't talking about big things like she doesn't have the experience, her education's not right. They're just talking about little things that you can
Vibe check.
tweak.
Enthusiasm,
Vibe check.
energy.
So she can go back in and be like, I wouldn't say, I'll go to my grave with that one. I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna dazzle them. And they'll be like, she really just, all the things that we thought about, she just brought it around this time. I like her. And get the job. And you know what? Telling them is something that you can only do if you have a job and you have money. If you need a job and you have rent to pay, honey, be quiet, get that job and keep it moving.
I don't disagree. I love all of that, because I think, you come and you razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
I actually, though, would use this and actually reveal. I'm going to mix your two answers.
Ooh.
I would reveal that I know, because I actually think that this could be your first true test as a potential employee. If you really want this job, if you really want to work there, there could be a very clever way to incorporate the feedback and right away change, but also to let them know, listen, I just want to let you know, I am so thankful. I got all the lessons. I accidentally received the feedback, but thank you for the feedback. We are in a culture now where somehow, some way, we don't want the feedback. I, like you, I want and love feedback, but to not tell them, why don't you let them know, I found out, and you know what, very fair points. Thank you so much for that feedback, even though I wasn't supposed to get it, but they were doing their job. That's their job. They're supposed to give each other feedback. Is this the right person or not? And you know how you can prove you're the right person for the job? By being honest, by saying, I can take critique, I can take feedback, and I'm a team player and I really want to work for you. I think it
when
actually be a
you
beautiful
go-
opportunity.
No, honestly, in job interviews,
When you go high, I go low.
Go
Because
for it.
I
Go
would
for it.
not tell them that I got that feedback because it's like getting answers to the test. So I would dial it up. I would bring the enthusiasm. I would bring the energy. But something else that happened when she got sent those notes, the end of that email also included the interviewer's to-do list. And she was like, what the heck? So she got all of these criticisms of her and a to-do list. So I would dial it up in the interview, and then on the way out, I'd look at that interview and just be like, did you get your laundry done? I saw it was on your to-do list.
you can't be.
Yes, I would, because it would feel so
You guys really
Yeah.
don't need the money.
Would I get the job? No.
No, exactly.
What we learned today on the show is we're all petty. It's what we learned.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.